Clayton makes an announcement about his future. Will a fan favorite be coming back to Bachelor in Paradise? And Bachelor alums react to Mike Fleiss's departure from the franchise. Hey guys, it's Kayla Galloway here with Shared News. We've got all of the Bachelor headlines for you. But before we get into it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit on that little bell for notification, so you'll be the very first to see all of our new videos. I am here with Kayla Thompson. Hi, how are you? I know we didn't get a Bachelor Monday this week. What did you do instead?
I know. I know. I didn't know what to do with myself, KG. But you know what? I ended up just kind of going to bed early, actually. And I started like an old show. I just kind of got back into like some of my other TV shows that I like. And I just kind of figured it out without Bachelor on a Monday. But somehow, some way, even without the show coming on, there's still news to talk about. So, and there's a lot. I know we've got a
Thank
lot of things to
God,
cover today.
right?
So excited to dive in.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have, just because the new episodes, they're not coming out right now. We're off season, but all the Bachelor Nation and
Mhm.
alums, they keep us busy. And first up is Clayton. He is actually went to his IG and posted about his future career. And he said, happy to announce that I have officially signed on with Zabak Group to be a real estate agent in the Phoenix Scottsdale market. I'm looking forward to this new chapter of my life as things to be continue to be on the up and up for me. I am so happy he's doing so well because I know really he got he got a lot of flack on his Bachelor season, and he's kind of opened up about his mental
Yeah.
health since. So I'm actually so happy for him
Mhm.
kind of finding this new passion in real estate. And you know who else does real estate
Mhm.
in the Scottsdale area? Ari, another former
Ooh,
Bachelor. And Mike, right? I know, what are the
very
odds?
true.
And could you imagine, what would you do? I want to know your
Mhm.
reaction, Kayla. You walk into an open house, you're searching for a home.
Oh
Instead,
my
you walk
gosh.
in and there's two former Bachelors. What's your next move?
Oh my gosh. Literally, I would just, knowing me, I would flat out just say it like, okay, this is crazy. First of all, I did not know that you guys are going to be showing me the house today. I have to say, I watched your season of The Bachelor. I'm a huge fan. We have to talk about what's going on with Lauren. Clayton, are you dating anyone? Like, I would just automatically go into Bachelor fan mode slash post journalist mode, just be asking all the questions, whether they wanted me to or not. But no, like you said, I am glad to hear that Clayton is doing really well and he's got this new career venture for himself. I know he's got a book coming out. If it already hasn't come out already. But yeah, he went through a lot coming off of his season and during his season. You know, the fans put him through the ringer, as you know, that does tend to happen on reality TV shows with fans just having way too much
Sure.
to say and just being really mean online, honestly. So I'm glad that he has found this real estate situation and he's really doing well with it. I know that was something that he, I guess, wanted to do, was move to Scottsdale and find a house. And that was maybe even why him and Susie broke up. So this is something that's been a long time coming for him, I guess, just planning that out for his future. So it's good to hear. I'm glad he's got other things going. I like when I see, a Bachelor alum not just lean into the fame or the influencing thing, but kind of have other passions that they do, in their life and that they like to explore. So I'm glad. I'm happy for him.
Same, same. And I know Ari, another kind of connection there is they were both really not liked, both of them, as their Bachelor. It wasn't a great season for them. So maybe we're gonna see a future bromance. They could really
Mhm.
connect and bond over that. I'm here for it because I'm such an Ari fan now after Traders. Did you ever watch that? I forgot to ask you.
I didn't see Traders, no, but yeah, of course I did hear Ari was on there, but yeah,
It's a
Ari
must
wasn't
watch.
horrible to me. Ari wasn't a horrible bachelor. I think his ending, of course, was like rough with Becca and then getting back with Lauren. But I guess for me, just a sidebar, I was always like, Ari, you should just pick Lauren. Like you just want Lauren, but you know, I don't know. So to me, I'm just like, no skin off my back with Ari. It's fine. But I'm glad that, Ari has,
Same.
just like we were saying with Clayton, he's found like his other passions. He's going on his own wave. He hasn't just leaned into the I've been the bachelor thing. So I'm glad that the two of
Hmm.
them have found that for themselves
They're in it together. And kind of speaking of
in it together.
influencing, right? Gabby is finally
Mhm.
sharing her skincare with us. I know kind of an iconic line now is during the Bachelor Fantasy Suites. She was most excited for Zach to see her skincare routine. It's finally posted, and I kind of want to bring it to you. And like, do you think there's like talk online? Is that an influencing move?
Mhm.
Is she setting up for her post Bachelor career? Or do you think she was just authentically excited about Zach seeing her wash her face?
I think that was, in the moment, just a cute, quick Gabby quip, like that was just something that she's
Sure.
like just said in the moment. And it's now become a thing on social media that people are talking about because she's so cute and quirky. But no,
She's
I think it's
adorable.
probably her posting that was a mix of both things of like, hey, I'm putting it out there because people were talking about that, in finale during the finale coming out, and then also at the same time,
Mhm.
like it could be a door for her to influence. I don't have any problem with them influencing. I think Gabby's skin is amazing. I would love to know what
Incredible.
products she's been using actually. But the other thought that I have about her posting that is it's an opportunity for her to shine light on something else other than the things that have been being talked about when it comes to Gabby and when it comes to Zach and the whole finale of, you know, the fantasy suite week and just like the hurt and the pain that was caused of the whole situation with Gabby and how Zach handled things. So I think for her to take this opportunity to say, like, do something fun, like, and light, like, hey, here's that, skin routine I never got to really show you guys. Here it is. It's an opportunity for us to kind of take our eyes off of the negativity of that whole ending for her and learn and just focus on something light and cute and like just, positive.
No, you're so right. That was probably the only positive thing that came from Fantasy Suites.
Mm,
And kind of like also like
mm,
Katie and Zach have been doing their press rounds, kind of this after finale aftermath. And Gabby did also. And
yeah.
she went on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. And she said the real
Mhm.
reason why she stayed when she said she knew before that it wasn't her. She says, quote,
Right.
Katie would have felt like the choice by default. So it just says like
Wow.
a million and one reasons why I love Gabby and this friendship and the girl power that happened
Mhm.
on the season of like Zach's season. And
Mhm.
I just I love it so much. And what do you
I
think
love it.
about this? Love it.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, Gabby is just she's such a sweet girl. She's so fun and she's so cute. I don't know, she has such a pure heart, I think. And I think a lot of people saw her the moment where she stepped out of the limo, during the final ceremony and said, "Hey, don't park there when it matters. When Katie gets here, don't do that to her." I think a lot of people saw it, including myself, as like a kind of a self-deprecating moment for Gabby, but also at the same time, there is this duality of her and Katie love each other and they really like care about each other as well and think very well of each other. So I think that's we're seeing that here, and I think she's right. If she did leave, I think that we as viewers would know the deal. We would know that Zach was probably
Yeah.
going to pick Katie anyway, like Gabby felt as well. But I think Gabby thought deeper in knowing Katie would have that thought in the back of her mind, like, was I just the default because Gabby wasn't an option anymore? So I think that's actually very thoughtful of her. And obviously her and Katie are still very close. They've both talked about that, which I find very fascinating. I don't know how they're doing it and managing that with
Same.
Zach in the picture with Katie, but yeah, I think it's interesting these bachelor shows. It's possible to have these type of relationships even when you're in the final two with someone. So, um yeah, but it's just a reflection on Gabby being just a great girl. I want to see more of her. I want her to go on Paradise.
Yeah, I really think Gabby and Katie's relationship is so beyond the show, but it makes you think like on top of,
Mhm.
with Zach, kind of we all thinking that he knew it was Katie also, but just going along, following the motions of the
Mhm.
show so that ending that the Bachelor wants, that they get. Like what are your thoughts on that, Kayla?
Yeah, I think that's always the thing with The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. It's like, and I hear Nick Viall talk about this a lot with his season. It was like he was kind of riding the line of being insanely, being as an being as authentic as he could be, but also at the same time, he knew that it was Vanessa earlier than maybe he was leading on. And not that he was dragging people to the end. He really did like his final three a lot, but he knew he liked Vanessa the most, right? So I think but let's say he were to just be like, hey, I already know it's Vanessa at final four, everyone go home. It's like you do end up kind of ruining the show if you don't go along with how the format goes. You have to continue. And I guess as the lead, I'm speaking for the lead's perspective, you have to kind of have it in your head, hey, I'm feeling this way, but like Zach was saying throughout the whole season, things could change. Anything could change. And like
Yeah,
I have to keep seeing how this unfolds. So even though we're saying, oh, he was always going to pick Katie, something could have happened. You never know. But I will say what you just said kind of opened up a window in my mind of when it comes to Gabby and her making this choice to stay because Katie would feel like the default. Although it does seem very thoughtful of her, and like we were just saying, they're such great friends. It is kind of like, okay, that's a very show move to me at the same time. Like, I don't know. I think if you know you're not going to get picked, why, like, you just leave. Like, I would rather go break up with someone than get broken up with just so the other person can feel better. I don't know. It's just weird to me. So I feel like sometimes I think the contestants and the leads have a hard line to ride in terms of, you're on a TV show and you understand the format of how it goes. You can't just really throw everything out the window because, of how you feel, but at the same time, like, you do have to be authentic because otherwise we'll just feel like you're being fake and we're just being kind of gaslit as viewers. If that all of that made any sense.
yeah, for sure. And actually makes me think of, someone who actually did do what you're saying, Claire and Tasha's season, because we had to bring in another
Exactly.
Bachelorette. She did do that. She knew what she
Mhm.
wanted. And at that point, probably Zach knew around that same time too, but he kept it going for the show. Claire was like, I've been
Possible.
around the
Yeah.
rodeo a few times with The Bachelor. What was like her fourth or fifth time on the show. And she was like, I found him. I'm
Mhm.
done. And then the show I mean, we got
Right.
Tasha, which I love. But I also, when it comes to me, my
Very
opinion
true.
on the leads versus like, I put a little bit more fault into that with Zach versus Gabby personally because of also her
Mhm.
background of like in her opening up about her emotions about feeling second choice. And I think it just went deeper and with her
Mhm.
of like, this is my friend. I know what it feels like to feel second choice. And I wouldn't put that on my worst
Mm.
enemy. And I'm definitely not going to put over my friend Katie. So I think there's really a balance
Feel
there.
that.
But kind
I
of
agree.
moving on, the finale is over, Bachelor's over. I can't wait
Mhm.
to see people on Bachelor in Paradise, though. Gabby is one of those
Ugh.
people. And Johnny teases
I don't
going back
know.
on Bachelor in Paradise when he did an Instagram
Mhm.
Q&A. Someone asked him if he would come
Mhm.
back, and he posted a little wink and says, guess we will have to find out. Would you want Johnny to be on the beach, especially
Interesting.
since he was just on their last season? He had a pretty intense
Mhm.
breakup, and with the whole Victoria and Greg thing, it was intense. It kind of
That was
surprises me he's
huge.
so like up for it. This is actually the second time he has brought up coming back and being excited to go back
Wow,
because
okay.
even though he had that breakup, it did work for him. So he believes in the process. You know what I
Right,
mean? What do you think?
right.
Do you want Johnny to be on that beach?
Didn't know that. Listen, I didn't know that that was his second time hinting at going back on the beach. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. I would love
Do it.
to see Johnny on my television screen again. He's so hot, he's so fun, he's so smooth, and he's perfect for the show because like we were just saying, he's one that doesn't necessarily go with the show of it all or the production of it all. He's being very
Mhm.
real. He's staying true to himself, and he kind of just acts as if the cameras really aren't there, which I think is so fun to watch. He's very authentic.
TV
So
gold.
that would be great. And then on another note, I think, to keep in mind, like Johnny was very young when he was on Gabby and Rachel's season. And when he was on Paradise, I mean, he went to Paradise right after filming Gabby and Rachel's season. He's probably grown a lot from both of those experiences. And we might see a different side to Johnny that we don't know yet. We might see just a new, more mature, more, I would say, even ready Johnny than we did before. So I think it's a great opportunity to see his growth, to see something new from him. I don't think we'll see like more of the same. And I think, when it came to Victoria and Gabby, like I feel like I don't know that Johnny really knew what he really wanted. I think he's still kind of figuring that out, and he used maybe those 2 seasons were a chance for him to kind of like figure that out and figure out himself. And so I would actually be interested to see like him on the beach again, who he could connect with from this season of The Bachelor, from Zach's season. I'm trying to
Who do
think
we
like
think, Kayla?
who could we match him up
I know. I'm trying to
with?
think.
What do
Like, I
you
wanted one
think? I
of
mean,
Zach's
Gabby's on my
girls.
brain, but yeah, I'm trying to think
I
of one
think
of Zach's
he likes
girls.
like if you look at Gabby and
Wait, I have
Victoria,
someone.
I think they. Oh, tell me.
Ariel and Johnny, their vibes
Oh
of
my,
like the suave, smooth, mystery, sexy, but like goofy and
the New
cool,
Yorker and the Surfer Boy.
they would be
All right,
killer, I feel like, together. But what were you gonna
interesting.
say?
I was about to bring up Christina Mendrell. Like, I think she has such a big personality and kind of is quick-witted, like Gabby and
Similar to
Victoria. I see some
Victoria.
similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of some Victoria vibes, right? So I would love that. I definitely have a more
Okay.
controversial opinion when it comes to last season of Bachelor in Paradise, and I am like probably
Mhm.
Victoria and Greg's biggest fan. Don't tell anybody, even though where I'm telling a bunch of people. But doesn't mean that
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
feel for Johnny and what he went through. I just think it was meant to be
Right.
Victoria and
No, of
Greg, and I
course.
think they're lifers. I will
Of
die
course.
on that mole sand. No, die on that molehill. But we will see. But I am so excited for Bachelor in Paradise, and we have some other news when it comes to that. I think it's safe to say, like, we know probably half of Zach's cast is going on Paradise. And Katie Bigger, the winner and Zach's fiance of this most recent Bachelor season, posted on TikTok. And it was a dance she was doing with Mercedes. It was a TikTok duet with Andrew Spencer. And the caption read, "These moves may be smooth, but if I'm the reason these two link up in paradise, smiley face." And I kind of like it. Like Mercedes, I think she was so underrated on Zach's season. She was one of my favorites. I really
Mhm.
her fashion was
Mhm.
on point, and I just also just kind of loved her interaction with the girls. She seems just like a fun girl, like the twerking contest. Like that's all I need to know. So what do you think about this pairing?
What do I think about that pairing? I think it's very random, I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
I agree. I think Mercedes was someone that we didn't really get to see a whole lot of on, Zach's season, but someone that actually just popped into my mind because I think you brought up the twerking contest, and she was kinda just like queen of that moment
Oh,
that I would love to see on the beach, and maybe even with Andrew Spencer, is Brianna. I actually think
that's a good
Brianna
match.
could be a really good match for Andrew. And, but either way, any of the three of them on Paradise, I would love to see. I don't even care. I'm just interested to see the fact that Andrew was even open to going back on Paradise is also fascinating to me. I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah, he had a tough go of it last season with Teddy. So it'll be interesting.
He
Like, I
did.
think for sure Mercedes is going to be there. I'm 50-50 on Andrew, but he
Hmm.
is a hot commodity
I
in
would
the
agree.
Bachelor world. So, I mean, they're going to want him there. It just depends on if he says yes or not. And we're kind of
Exactly.
ahead ourselves with Bachelor in Paradise. Let's go back to the Bachelorette
Mhm.
and charity season because we know what
Okay.
they're filming. I'm like
Ugh.
scrolling and refreshing every day to see if there's any new content from that season. And we have visual evidence that Gabby, Wendy, and Rachel will both be hosting
Mhm.
a group date. And then we did just see more
Yeah.
recently JoJo and Jordan, one of my favorite Bachelor couples, will also be hosting a
Really?
date. Who are you more excited for? What do you think they'll bring to charity season?
Oh my gosh. I love both of these options or both of these, group date hosts. Honestly, I think with Gabby and
Same.
Rachel, it's it's an opportunity to for them to give advice as bachelor they won't lean into this too hard, but as two bachelorettes who it didn't work out, they were the most recent bachelorettes, and they're not with the guys that they picked at the end, and so they have an opportunity to kind of give charity advice from that space. But also, of course, they're going to bring for Gabby, it's going to so much personality, and for Rachel, I think she's going to bring a lot of that insight. But for JoJo and Jordan, they were a couple. She was a bachelorette that was a success. So I'm super excited that they're on there. We haven't seen them on the franchise in a minute. They haven't brought them out on AFR or any kind of reunion show in a
They
long
just keep
time.
bringing
So that's
Sean Lowe
actually really
over
cool
and
that they brought
over.
them back. They can't keep
Yeah,
reusing Sean Lowe. Goodness gracious.
they can't. They
I was
need
gonna
to
say,
find
you
some
know,
new
it'd be
people.
cool for right. I was gonna say it would be great for Charity to have someone like Rachel Lindsay, who was the first Black Bachelorette, come and give her advice. But we all
I
know
would
Rachel
love
is
that.
like, I'm done with y'all. Sorry. Gonna give
True.
Charity advice
And
from a
she's also booked
distance,
and busy.
but yeah. Oh, way too busy.
Yeah, that
Probably
would
can't pay her anymore.
you're totally right. Yeah, that would have been an ideal guest for sure. Kind of my predictions with Gabby and
Mhm.
Rachel is there going to be a lot of jokes like this is what not to do as the Bachelorette, because it didn't work out for
Right.
them, and just with their kind of humor.
Exactly.
And then this is what I'm
Exactly.
hoping. My 2023 Bachelor bingo
Mhm.
card was that JoJo and Jordan have a
Mm.
baby, start a family. So this is my prediction is
Oh.
by the time that episode airs, maybe there'll be some type of announcement. I'm really hoping so because they have been open about wanting to start a
Yes.
family, so it's not out of left field. And I would love another Bachelor
I'd
baby
love
running
that.
around. And I mean, JoJo
I
and Jordan have been
know.
like
I
they're
would
like
love that.
OGs. They've been together for so long,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
sure.
No, that'd be
And
super cute.
then
I think the last time we had a baby announcement was when Ashley and JP were brought out on AFR and they did a little like ultrasound on stage. That was like a whole moment.
it's been a hot minute.
Maybe they'll do something like
Yeah.
that maybe they'll do something like that as the group date. Who freaking knows?
Who knows? Who knows? But I would love to see it. And I was excited just because these two are like one of my favorites. So I was definitely very
Yeah.
like pleasantly surprised that they're bringing them back and not Sean Lowe. No, no shade. I like Sean Lowe, but that was just a lot for one season. Um, and kind of speaking of the future of Bachelor, Mike Fleiss, we knew that he was leaving the Bachelor franchise, and since then we've learned a little bit
Mhm.
more information. There was a article on Variety, and they posted an article explaining that his departure came after a racial discrimination investigation. He
Mhm.
allegedly said that the
Mhm.
minorities don't get ratings, among other things, kind of just awful and similar to that, and as well as he would bully and sabotage anyone like in the team who would try to push for diversity. I mean, I think we
Mm.
all kind of suspected it, but seeing it like in his words, seeing this article
Mhm.
was just like a
Mhm.
whoa for me. Like, what are your thoughts on this article
Yeah.
and Mike Fleiss?
So many thoughts come to mind, of course, but honestly, KG, the first is that I'm not surprised. I think that, we've known for a while that The Bachelor and race those two things are having a troublesome relationship and
Mm-hmm.
they've had a lot to work on and, in the past recent years. And so with that being said, I always felt like it starts at the top. There must be some type of racial issue that starts at the top of this franchise of why we have only had one black bachelor, why we've never had an Asian bachelor or only one Hispanic black bachelor. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason for that. There's a reason why someone like Zach was chosen to be the bachelor over Rodney, who was everyone was screaming, or sorry, Clayton. Was it Clayton? Whoever, Rodney, doesn't even matter. Rodney for
No,
2 seasons was not chosen as a bachelor. It's like there's a reason for that, right? And so, I mean, I'm not surprised that Mike Fleiss potentially is racist for saying those things. But the fact that those things were said is very jarring. I mean, it's shocking, to say minorities
it's
don't get
it's
ratings. I think
wild.
it's very wild to say out loud to a team, to say you're going to bully anyone on a team who would push for more diversity is actually crazy. And so I see why I think they pushed him out and we're like, you have to go because we need to make a change. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that that was the reason. Um, and so, yeah, I'm glad there was an investigation done on the franchise. That was needed because I was wondering is what is actually going on when it comes to racial reconciliation with this franchise because it's been known to be very bad, but also like, okay, we're kind of seeing the needle move, but it's like just flip floppy. It's just all over the place. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's shocking, but also not at the same time.
It does. I totally get that. And really, your sentiment of
Hmm.
being like, not so shocked, Bachelor Nation or Bachelor alums, I mean, are really kind of everything we're seeing. They're commenting on posts. Juan Pablo,
Mm,
a former Bachelor, even tweeted, and all of them are saying, not shocked. Tammy from
wow.
season 24
Yeah.
of The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise 7 said, pretends to be shocked. Chris from
Mm,
season 23 of The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise 7 as well said, no
mm-hmm.
surprise here. And then we got quite the rant from
Wow.
Juan Pablo. You know, I mean, he's not anyone's favorite bachelor, but I mean, I do think that he has had that probably firsthand experience with Mike Fleiss. So I was interested in hearing from him. He said,
Mm-hmm.
I knew it from day one. It was a matter of time. Chris's mouth just got him first. But Mike was the mastermind behind
Mm,
everything racism, bullying, and creating a disrespectful working environment. Now the show will have true love
wow.
stories, respecting beliefs, and how each culture express love. And that kind of takes me to the
Wow.
future of Bachelor. Like we are going into charity
Mm-hmm.
season. Mike Fleiss is gone, and I think we saw it a little bit in the Women Tell All. Maybe Mike Fleiss had one foot out the door, and that's why we were able to have a lot more honest conversations than we ever have before in past Bachelor seasons. Do you think this is going to be like a
Mm-hmm.
new era of The Bachelor?
I hope so. I hope that, replacing the issue that was at the top will trickle down throughout the entire, company and the franchise. I think that, maybe that's choosing Charity as a bachelorette. She has every reason to be the bachelorette other than the fact that she is a black woman, but I think it was an opportunity for them to kind of like showcase a love story that we've only got to see through it 3 other times as like a lead of color for the Bachelorette. So, yeah, I hope this is a turning point for them. I really, really do. I think that though at the same time, you know, you've gotta get more people of color working in the franchise. You can't just take someone out and then just kinda keep going about your business. Like, you have to add, people of color to the workspace, to the company to get that, get those perspective, get those production ideas kind of involved. I'm curious who thought about, like, the undercover brother. That's like a thing, in black culture that people do say, like I can, attest to. So I'm just like curious, like just having things like that involved into the show is, of course those are minute and small details, but stuff like that speaks to a bigger change that might be going on. So I hope there's more of that. I hope there's more black producers. I hope there's more Asian producers. I hope there's more people up in the echelon of the company who are choosing the leads and choosing who's casted, who can speak up and say, no, these stories need to be showcased and showcased well. So we'll have to see, but it's going to take time. It's been 20 plus years of the same mentality leading the charge of this franchise. It's going to take them a while to really showcase change that goes deeper than just the surface.
Yeah, very, very well said. And I agree with you that just one person leaving the franchise is even high up as he can be, like, it's not going to solve everything. And having that
Right.
diversity across all different departments and in the casting, as well as, I mean, this kind of goes for any industry throughout the world that there needs to be a
Mhm.
representation of everyone so that, people can do it right and it's a real
Yeah.
representation of what the world is. So, I'm feeling hopeful for the first time because I'm not gonna lie, there's been some times in the past few years
Yeah.
I've been a long time fan of the show, but I've had this kind of icky feeling of like, should I even be supporting this, So I'm very
Mm,
hopeful with this transition, and I think charity season could be the best one yet. And I'm just really excited,
yeah.
and I'm excited to feel that excitement of being a Bachelor fan again. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how
Yeah.
I
I
took the
do.
news, and excited to see also Bachelor alums reacting to it. And I think this is also going to be a
Mhm.
developing story, and probably more and more will come out. And that is all we
Yeah,
have for Bachelor
absolutely.
headlines. There's a lot, so thanks for sticking with us. And let us know in the comments what you think. Like, are you going to be hiring Clayton as your realtor? Are we excited to see maybe Johnny at on the beach of paradise? Are you excited for charity season? We want to hear it all. But before you go, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit on that little bell for notifications as you'll be the very first to see our videos. Again, I'm Kayla Galloway here with Kayla Thompson, and we would love for you to say hi on our personal profiles. They're going to be right up on the screen, and I'll see you next time.